Hello everybody, welcome to another video. My name is Infiniti and today I'm going to show you guys how to do the mitered square in Tunisian crochet. So this stitch has become popular very recently. It's not new, but it has become popular as of late, and I thought it'd be fun to show you guys how to do this stitch. It's very easy. It's not as intimidating as one might think it is. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into the tutorial. Alright, to get started with this stitch, what you're going to want to do is chain in an odd increment. So what I did for this sample piece here is I chained 15. I cast on 15 stitches, and once I cast on those 15 stitches, then I got into the pattern. So you can pause the video here, cast on your odd increment of stitches, and then meet me back when you're ready to start the pattern. So once I have cast on my odd increment of stitches, I have 25 here. What I want to do, some people do this first, some people kind of wait, but what we want to do is find that center stitch of our row. So I believe that's 13 for me. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. And I'm going to put a stitch marker there just so I can keep that stitch in mind, as trust me, you're going to want to. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to begin doing our returning pass. So we're going to yarn over, chain 1 as normal, and then we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, oops. Okay, and we're going to yarn over, pull through 2 until we get to these center 3 stitches. So what we're going to do here is we are going to end up yarning over and pulling through those center 3 stitches. So your yarn is going to go through 4 loops. So yarn over, see if I can zoom in. Oops. We're going to yarn over, we're going to pull through 1 loop, which is not a stitch, but then we're going to pull through this 1, 2, 3 stitches. And this is going to give us our first corner. So now we are going to yarn over and pull through 2 to the end. Right? And pull through the last 2. Alright, now we can move on to our second row. So in our second row, what we're going to do is we're just going to work across as normal for the most part. So there's 1. We always skip that first vertical bar in Tunisian crochet. We're just going to work the simple stitch along this row until we get to those center stitches, and that is the only part of this row that we're going to be working differently, and I'll show you guys that in just a bit. And getting that last stitch. Alright, so now we're at the point where we are at those stitches that we decreased in our returning pass, and you'll notice that there's this little loopy deal right here, and we're going to be working into that. So just going to insert our hook in that loop right there, and just yarn over and pull up a loop as normal, and then you can continue to simple stitch all the way into the end. Alright you guys, so that is the end of row 2. So as you'll notice, even though we have this corner little angle right here, our rows are still going to be worked horizontally. So there's nothing really out of the norm about this stitch except for that center part, and as you continue to work this pattern, the center stitches become more evident, and when you do your returning passes, they're just easier to eyeball and see. But if you need to continually use stitch markers, you can do that as well. So now we are going to do our next returning pass, and these are normal return passes. Nothing out of the normal about them aside from those center 3 stitches. So we're just gonna yarn over, pull through 2 until we hit those center 3 stitches. That is a tongue twister. Alright, now I am at the center 3 stitches. That is going to be our favorite word, our favorite phrase for this tutorial. We're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through these center 3 stitches. So again, keep in mind that this first loop on your hook is not a stitch actually. So we're just going to yarn over, we're going to pull through it, but it's not a stitch. What we're actually counting are the vertical bars on our hook. Alright, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through 2 until you reach the end. Alright, we have reached the end of this row, and it looks like it's starting to look like an L. It's starting to look like an L. So what we're going to do is we are going to repeat what we did for the first row. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, we're going to start working our simple stitches starting in that second stitch of our row until we get to the center, and I'll show you guys again what to do once you get to the center. Alright, once we reach the center, again, at the corner where we cinch together those 3 stitches, there's always going to be this little loopy stitch up here. And we're just going to work into that, yarn over and pull up a loop, and it acts as a simple stitch. And then once we do that part, we can continue on working this row. Alright, now we are ready to do our next return pass. So we are just going to chain 1 as normal, and then we're going to yarn over, pull through 2 until we get to the center. Alright, now that we are at that center, we are going to yarn over and we're going to pull through the 3 stitches on our hook. So yarn over and we're going to pull through 1, 2, 3. Alright. And some people leave that center looser than others. Some people pull it tighter. It's all a matter of personal preference. Alright, and once we do that, we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through 2 until the end of the row. Alright, and I have reached the end of my row. So you would continue in this way until you get to the end. So I'm going to work that up, and I'll meet you guys back when I'm ready to close. Alright, so as you can see, I worked this pattern up several rows, and I'm getting pretty close to the end. So I'm back at a point where I'm just working my simple stitches. And work that center stitch. Alright, we're doing that return pass. And yarn over, pull through those center 3 stitches, then yarn over, pull through to the end, which didn't take long. Alright, I'm going to work that 1 stitch, then we're going to yarn over, working that loopy thing, and then we're going to work in that simple stitch, and then we're going to work in that end stitch right there, yarn over. And you'll notice that you have nice finished edges on all sides. This pattern is curling up a little bit, but you can just block it later. Alright, once we get to this point, things might look a little weird, but that's perfectly fine. I have 5 stitches left in this pattern. I'm just going to yarn over, do my chain 1 at the end, and this time we're going to yarn over. We're still going to pull through 3 stitches, so it's 1, 2, 3 in the center, and then yarn over, pull through 2, and now for our final row, what we're going to do, we already have this loop on our hook. We're going to insert into the loopy thing. That is an official term. And then we are going to insert our hook in this end stitch, which can be weird to see sometimes. And yarn over. We have 3 loops on our hook, and then we yarn over and we just pull through all 3, and we chain 1 and fasten off. I know I was holding my scissors weird. Don't judge me. Alright guys, so this has been the mitered square. I have seen it used on sweaters and blankets and a number of other projects. It's not a super stretchy stitch, but it does the job, so that's why I think it's perfect for blankets, because they won't lose their shape too quickly. I hope today's video was helpful. If so, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on awesome future weekly content like this. I usually post Tunisian crochet tutorials on Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. CST, so you'll want to be around for that if that's your thing. Don't forget to check out my other social media. I'm on pretty much everything except for Snapchat. If you are interested in seeing all of my whips, projects, and shop updates, you can find all of those over on the Instagram page for Infiniti Crafting Co. If you want to support the channel, like I said, you can subscribe, you can check out my blog, and you can check out my pattern shop over on Etsy. And until next time guys, happy making!